Mm. Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. And welcome to this morning's edition of Don't Sleep on the Dallas Cowboys, where you literally cannot sleep on the Dallas Cowboys because things can happen late in the evening, late at night, first thing in the morning, so you want to be up to speed with everything that is the Dallas Cowboys. And hopefully, I have the sound just right this morning. I apologize. I'm definitely not perfect and have a day job as well as a lot of responsibilities, but I try and bring you guys the news anywhere, everywhere I may be because things are always happening. So sometimes you may see me here at the sports desk when I'm back here in the man cave, or sometimes on the road to my day job, or sometimes while I'm working my workshop and things, because I like to make sure that we are up to speed with everything that is the Dallas Cowboys. Guys, we are only 60 days, 7 hours, 42 minutes, and 14 seconds away from kickoff. Today, just up 95 from here, less than an hour and a half away, the Baltimore Ravens rookies are reporting because they're in the Hall of Fame game. Training camps from here on out will begin to open. And it's exciting as can be. Guys, can you believe it? We have made it through the NFL winter, the spring of our discontent, and now we're going to be talking about football. One of the things that we may be talking about may be Randy Gregory back on the field. There's optimism right now, guarded optimism at the Cowboys camp. They feel like they've turned a corner on that. And like I told you guys, I believe it was the 16th of May when they turned in the paperwork. Mike Fisher says it's the 24th. Somewhere in between there is when the NFL officially got the paperwork. And they have 60 days, not technically 60 days, but they usually make a decision within 60 days. So that puts us right at Monday, or the following Monday, before training camp opens. What can we expect from Randy Gregory? Well, there's a lot of excitement over a guy who has one sack. Unfortunately, we've only seen bits and pieces of it. His first year, he was injured a bit, didn't play a whole lot. Second year, well, there was the weed. But we saw some flashes there at the end of 2016 in those two games. He's kind of like a cobra. He's long, typical Dallas Cowboys defensive end. You know, they like those long, kind of lanky type guys. They don't like those real big, stout guys. But he is able to gather his body and spring and coil, much like a cobra. Now, let's understand that he's been off the field for over a year and only had 2 games the year before. So expectations should be, kind of low. But you're talking about Rob Martinelli, who has taken guys that were nobodies, passovers, never been, and guys that thought would be, never would be. Yet, he's turned those guys into productive guys. In fact, made a lot of them a lot of money because other teams ended up grabbing them up. The George Selvies, your Jason Hatchers, and things like that. They got big paydays. Didn't do much else elsewhere, but he was able to get the most out of them. So you'd like to see what Rod Martinelli can do with a premier talent. Remember, David Irving was a practice squad guy. Look what he was able to work with that. So I don't, like some people think, oh, he's going to have a 10-sack year. Well, no, man, you know what? I'd be happy for him to be able to make it through a season without being suspended. Let's get that out of the way first. If you could get 4 or 5 sacks out of him, along with the rotation of guys that we have, all of a sudden, you've got a pass rush that could be really elite. You've got your DeMarcus Lawrence. You got your Tyrone Crawford. You got your Taco, who was coming on last year. You got your Kona Ely, who's trying to resurrect his career. You've got, hopefully, Malik Collins back healthy to help clog up the middle along with Brian Price. you have wave after wave of guys that we can throw at people. And that could be fun to watch, especially if Jalen Smith in the middle of that field starts really being able to take it up another notch because the foot is better. You had a young stud, Van Der Esch, who's got a learning curve, I'm sure, but you got another fresh body that you can throw in there. And hopefully we can keep Sean Lee healthy throughout the season. All of a sudden, with your defense and some experience with your defensive secondary, all of a sudden, you could have a really, really good defense. In my mind, the thing that would take it over the top, of course, Earl Thomas. And I know, people are saying he's old. He's going to stunt the growth of your young guys. Don't need him. It's too much compensation. I'm telling you guys, with the pieces that are already there, that's the final piece of the puzzle for this season. What that does is that gives you Super Bowl aspirations right there. Because make no mistake, if the Cowboys' offensive line, a la Tyron Smith, stays healthy, Zeke Elliott plays 16 games, they're going to pound the hell out of the rock. They're going to control the clock. They're going to force teams to be more one-dimensional. And all of a sudden, you're going to turn the dogs loose in that defensive rush. I've always been that big defensive number one technique guy because I feel that's what you need to stop the run. But if you're forcing teams into passing one-dimensional game plans, then those smaller, faster defensive end tackles and things like that are beneficial because they're going to burn the offensive line. And with a general like an Earl Thomas, a playmaker, let me say it again, a playmaker. Because look at our defensive secondary, and who do we have as a playmaker? Xavier Woods, maybe. He's a guy who's always around the football, at least in college and everything. Guy who's gotten a lot of interceptions and stuff, but still needs a little bit of growing to do. A little bit more time out there. So I'll still wait and see what happens. Whew. And then there's another one of the Dallas Cowboys projects. Rico's working with a route guru, working on those route running and things, and looks good running routes. I'm hoping that he's also working with a blocking guru, because here's the thing, and I know a lot of people will say, man, just make him a wide receiver. Well, guys, we got a logjam right now at wide receiver. We got a lot of guys at wide receiver, and we can't keep all of them. So you're going to try and take a project and put it in the wide receivers and get rid of guys that have experience? No. We need him at tight end. The problem with him being basically a pass-catching only tight end is teams know if he's in there, you're going to pass the ball. There's no surprise element there. That works if you are a passing offense, if you're a la Jimmy Graham with the New Orleans Saints, who were passing 80% of the time, because defenses know it's Drew Brees. They're going to be passing the ball all the time. So, yes, you have to cover them. But the Dallas Cowboys, one of the biggest problems last year was there was no surprise. There was no deception with the offense. You pretty much knew what the Cowboys were going to do by the situation, where they were on the field, the fact that it just was not a creative offense. If Rico can learn to block, that'll help him go from fourth string tight end to maybe move up and get on the field. Because when you get out there, you want him to line up like a tight end, and the defense wonder, do I need to cover him or do I need to worry about him knocking my block off? And that, my friends, in football more than anything else, is how you win. When they don't know what is coming. But hey, guys, football is now here. and I got to get ready to go to my day job. So hopefully I got the sound right. So I won't hear all the guys say, "You're an idiot, you suck," and so on. But I'm going to end this with one last statement. The highest compliment that I could ever get, and I appreciate it, was a guy says, "I love your analysis." Even though I'm an Eagle fan, I love your analysis. That's the highest compliment you can get when the enemy likes what you're doing. I'm Mark Holmes. This is Cowboy Joe Boo, and we'll have more on the Dallas Cowboys later. Thank you for watching.